Welcome to Yellow Plague's Rush Week tutorial for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In this video, I will only be going over the new mechanics featured in the Rush Week mode. Many of the mechanics from the main game still apply in Rush Week. If you're new to the game and want to learn more about the game's mechanics, check out my Victims video. Alright, let's begin. Rush Week is a new mode in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. It features 1v6 instead of 3v4. You can only play as Johnny or the victims, and you cannot select who you want to play as either. When the match starts, you will be given the role of a victim or Johnny. The victims do not have any unique attributes or perks. The only customization available is changing the outfits that the victims wear. Playing as a victim. All victims start the game in a random room inside of the sorority house. All the doors on the upper levels will be unlocked and the doors on the lower levels will be locked. There is a ladder that Johnny can access from the outside that will lead to a balcony which connects to the second floor. Victims have three ways of escaping: the attic escape, the car radio, and the phone. As with the main game, all of the item spawn locations is based on RNG. The attic escape. The attic escape requires you to find an attic pole. Once you find a pole, you must find an attic hatch. Hold the interact button to open up the hatch. This action will generate noise and alert other players to your location. After opening the hatch, a ladder will drop down. Climb the ladder to escape and win the game. A maximum of 2 victims can escape through the attic. However, sometimes the ladder will break after one victim climbs it. Also, Johnny can destroy the ladder to prevent victims from using it. Lastly, you should climb the ladder as soon as you can. If not, another victim might steal your escape. The car radio. The car radio objective requires you to find a set of car keys. Once you find the keys, head outside to find a car. You can interact with the car and do a skill check to turn on the engine. This minigame will generate noise and alert other players to your location. Once the car is on, hold the button displayed to radio for help. If you get interrupted before the conversation finishes, you will have to do it again to complete the objective. After the conversation is complete, a 6-minute timer will appear on the top right of the screen. Once the timer reaches 0, the police will arrive and you will win the game, granted that you're still alive when this happens. The phone. The phone objective is similar to the fuse door exit from the main game. You need to find a lockpick and a fuse. Once you have those items, look for the fuse box. Open the fuse box and insert the fuse. Complete the skill check to turn on the fuse box. Once the fuse box is on, you must look for the telephone. Interact with it to call for help. Once you finish the conversation, a 6-minute timer will appear. Survive until it reaches 0 and you will win the game. I should mention that if you already called the police through the radio or phone and then call the police again for the other objective, you will reduce the timer by an additional 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Victim mechanics. Besides the usual stuff like wall gaps and door slams, victims in Rush Week have access to new mechanics. Here are some. Knives. Knives can be used to do sneak attacks on Johnny. You cannot close encounter him, and they can only be used to do sneak attacks from behind. Wrenches. Wrenches can be used to stun and knock Johnny down from any direction. They work similar to Leland's barge. Pepper spray. Pepper spray can be used to blind Johnny. When you use it, a gas will appear in the area that you sprayed it at. Any character that steps into the gas will be blinded. This includes victim players. Perfume. Perfume bottles can be thrown on the ground. Once shattered, the area will have a gas floating around it. Anyone that steps into the gas will have their locations highlighted for other players to see. Vents. Vents can be used to get you from one room to another. They do not function like wells from the main game. The purpose is just to get you from one room to another room without requiring you to go through the hallway. If Johnny is attacking you and you climb through a vent, by the time you arrive in the next room, Johnny will already be there waiting for you. Proximity warning and fear system. Victims have a proximity warning when Johnny is near them, similar to the main game. However, once Johnny executes his first victim, he will level up and the proximity warning for victims will disappear. Johnny can level up 5 times per match, each after executing a victim. Even though the proximity warning disappears after Johnny is level 1, you can still know if he's near based on the music. The volume and the tempo of the music will increase when he is near. The fear system is a mechanic that highlights victims for Johnny to see. If victims don't complete objectives, they will get more fearful. Once the border of their screen is purple, they will be highlighted for Johnny to see. Playing as Johnny. Johnny starts the match downstairs in front of the sorority house. He can either barge the doors or pick the locks on the lower level to come inside, or he can climb the ladder to go upstairs. Johnny's barge is much weaker in Rush Week. He has to barge multiple times to bring down a door. In return, his damage is much higher and he can execute victims in 2 hits. Johnny can level up 5 times in Rush Week. After executing a victim, he will level up. Level 1 removes proximity warning for victim players. Level 2 gives him his tracking ability from the main game. Level 3 increases his speed. Level 4 gives him a new ability called Bloodlust. When activated, it lowers his stamina consumption. Level 5 increases his damage. Outside of his usual mechanics from the main game, Johnny can also destroy attic ladders and shelves that victims can use to climb vents. Johnny can also turn off the fuse box to prevent the phone from being used. The match will end once Johnny executes all the victims or when the timer reaches 0. Did you know? Did you know that Johnny only has access to his default execution in Rush Week? In the cinematic trailer released for the game mode, Johnny was shown to use different executions. Unfortunately, in the actual game mode, he can only use his default one. What do you think of Rush Week compared to the regular game mode? And how does Rush Week compare to Friday the 13th? Let me know in the comment section below. This concludes my tutorial video on Rush Week for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you want to see tutorials based on the main game mode, check these videos out. Hope you enjoyed watching and learned something from this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in Texas.